Picked the wrong week to quit sniffing glue.
Well, good morning. Welcome back. It's Monday. It's another week. It's another new model. And things have been happening around the old Aztek temple. I got to tell you. The model that I'm planning on working on this week, I need some stuff for. So it's one of those things where last time I built it, it didn't have all these additional features that you could get for it, aftermarket stuff. So I called up Steve and said, Steve, what do you got to go with this kit? And I got a couple of interesting additions and add-ons. That's what an add-on is. It's an addition. A couple of ancillary kits that I could add to it. So I'm waiting for those to come in, and hopefully that'll be a couple of days. He's usually pretty quick with that kind of stuff. So the model is, I'm looking at parts. I'm going to be trying to work up a paint mask for it and all that. So that's on the side burner. Over the weekend, my printer crapped out on me, my 3D printer. It started giving me bad results a while ago, and I was nursing it, figuring, okay, well, it's going to be time to change the FEP film on the bottom of the vat. I've had this thing for a year and a half, never changed the FEP film, never even cleaned out the vat. It's just been, working right along and doing its job nicely, but, things wear out. So I was getting ready to change the FEP film. Pulled up the vat, and I saw that there was a big old resin spill on the screen. I never noticed it before. I thought maybe I was thinking, well, the faults I've been getting lately have been the FEP film. Well, they probably were not helped by the film, but they were probably because of this big old blot on the screen. So I've had to yank the guts out of the printer. I hurriedly put a call into Phil saying, Phil, where's the place you went? Because he's got the same printer I do. Where did you go to get your new screen? Because I'm not going to send all the way to Taiwan for another replacement screen. And he hooked me up with a place in California. So I had, stick a crowbar in my wallet, and I had to order the new screen. Have not heard back from them yet. I ordered it over the weekend. It's Monday morning. They're on the West Coast. I'm here. They may not even be open yet. So don't know how long that's going to take to replace. But I did go in, took the old screen out. And if you're curious, this is what a screen looks like. I have to tell you, though, I was intrigued and kind of frustrated and kind of angered. The company, Frozen, the company, has a how do you change your screen video up there, and they basically advise you to strip the whole thing down to its original nuts and bolts to do it, when frankly all you need to do is this is attached to the inside. There's a ribbon cable attachment right here. I don't know how many of you are interested in all this. All I had to do was take the tape off from around the edge, pull this up, and undo the ribbon cable. I didn't have to disassemble the front of the cabinet or any of that kind of stuff that they called for. So we'll see if it's going to be as easy to put it back in, but it's certainly very easy to pull out. But that's job one. And I do need to change the FEP film anyway, so I'm probably going to be doing that today. I can't really do anything with the printer until I get the new screen in, which is a shame because the last thing it gave me before it crapped the bed was these replacement ears that Jeffrey Fink had made up for the Optimus Prime head that I'm working on, or actually the Optimus Prime from Agora. This is a perfect replacement for those obscenely large spiky things, and they do fit nicely, but the last version came out distorted, and I think it had something to do with the printer, not with Jeff's files. So once I get the printer back up and running, we'll be able to address this issue. And of course, over the weekend, Moon Julie had released the fifth and final Sucker Punch Gal. So that's something that I want to be printing on like right away. Can't do it without a printer. So I've got plenty of resin. I've got the printer. I've got everything cleaned up. I just don't have a functioning printer. So today I'm going to run to the store because I have this set of Allen wrenches, but what I need is one of those ones that's a long singular, because this is just cumbersome to work with, and I've got a blue million of these to put in. So I need to go get the proper size Allen wrench so I can replace the film on the vat and at least get that ready. It's been one of those weeks, and then once I get this off the table, that's why I can't work on the model, because I need a good flat smooth surface to change this film on. Once I get that taken care of, I can get the model back on the bench and we can get on with the proper business at hand. But that's why we call this a weekly update. This is all the stuff that happens in the course of my week. It's not just building models as much as I would love it to be. So if I'm much delayed on anything, I guess I can spend the time getting things ready, cleaning them up, getting them ready for the Festive Wonder, which is coming up very soon. So this week is going to be as much of a mystery as to me as it is to you right now. So let's just see where it takes us. Well, the FEP has been replaced. It is nice and tight and ready for the new screen to come in. So that's off of the table, and now I can get on to at least the beginning of the build, because as I said, I am waiting for a great many aftermarket things to happen. But what is this great build you mentioned? Well, it's this. It is the old traditional standby, the Star Trek Klingon bird of prey. Now, I've built a scat of these over the years, but I've never really gone all out and built one that really had the bells and the whistles. And the bell and whistle that I'm choosing for this one is going to be the Lake Monster wing hinges, so that wings will actually move. And I'm going to be putting Ralph's electronics in it. Now, Ralph doesn't make a kit specifically for this model. He makes one for the 537 Katinga that I'm going to be adapting for this, because it has most of the same things. It's got a firing photon, it's got the strobes, and it's got the window lights, and that's basically all I need. It's got a engine effect for the Katinga that I can use in this. So all those pesky Klingons, they're pretty much the same as far as their features. So that's what I'm going to be doing, and it's also a notable gap, if you will, in my template set, because those wings, those feathers, would be a natural for trying to make painting templates for. So we're going to try it. We're going to see how it turns out. It may work, it may not, who knows. We're going to find that out together. Hello everybody, it's Tuesday, and I must confess I'm having some trouble getting into this build. And I think it's because I am still waiting for so much of the aftermarket stuff to arrive. I don't know for sure which parts I'm even going to be needing. So until that happens, I feel funny about putting a lot of it together. I may be gluing something up that I need to get into to run a light or something like that. Like I don't think I need any of these parts for the fins for the wings in any of the positions, because I'm getting Cass's hinge set. So I don't think I need any of them, but I don't know what kind of altering I'm going to have to do to the top of the hull to make that fit. So that's kind of why I am at loose ends. Now what I can be doing is making up the masks for the clear parts, and perhaps that's what I should be concentrating my efforts on, because I'm going to have to mask the engine, and I'm going to have to mask the photon torpedo. I started carving out the windows, and I got these two guys done. And I think what I'm going to do is do these 6 windows, and then maybe these 2 up, or these 4 up front, 6 up front, and call it a day. I don't want to cut up too much of this, because it's I'm going to probably fill them from the inside with clear resin or something to, or maybe microcrystal clear to fill them back in. But I don't want to get into the idea that I'm carving all of these these details out now because they are so soft to begin with. I have to figure out exactly, like I believe that's a strobe light, so I'm going to have to cut that off to put a strobe light in. And I know that there are lights that go in the front of the wings. So again, once I get Ralph's board for the, I'm actually going to be using the board for the 537 Katinga in this, because it has a lot of the same features. Once I get that board and I see how practical anything is going to be, then I can kind of figure out my game plan. Some stuff I could be doing, I think I'll go ahead and do, because I just need to feel like I'm starting to put some plastic together. Alrighty, we're back at the bird of prey here. Pardon the plotter in the background, but it is that time. Everybody's getting their last orders in before Wonderfest, so I'm hopping around like a one-legged thing that hops. And I'm continuing to work on the bird of prey, and I am cutting holes out where lighting is going to go, things like that, cutting holes out where windows go. Now, any of you who have built this kit recently will know this, but I have not built it recently. It's been a while since I've built one, and I was unpleasantly surprised to see this little development. Everyone knows there are headlights that go here on the front of the wings. Well, you've got these nice little knockouts at the bottom. Why in God's green earth is there not one on this wing? Why didn't they put those little knockouts there? So that's something additional I'm going to have to drill out to make these windows go. Not only that, I'm probably, depending on how tight these the two halves of the wing go, I'm probably going to have to chew out a channel for that wiring. It looks like I've got room here if I use the SMLED wiring. But there's just no good reason for that. Or there should be, if I can, I don't see my pencil here. There's my pencil. I'm going to have to knock out these two boxes here so that I can channel wire. They did it once, they didn't do it twice, and that is definitely not as nice. So that's the kind of stuff I'm doing. I've opened up windows on the head there, and these 6 windows here. There's a problem with opening up. I think I might want to open up these side windows, but by the time you overlap the plastic that goes on this next piece, it's going to cover that, so I don't know if that's worth the effort. I might just do the top window, since I think we can get away with that one given the thickness of the plating underneath it. But this is not, you can tell this was designed back when they tried to make it, nice for lighting, but they didn't go all out and make it really lighting friendly. So that's what I have to do, is make it more friendly. Hello everybody, good morning, welcome back. It's Thursday, the gateway of the weekend, and I'll be the first to admit progress has been slow this week on the bird of prey. Very slow, glacial, even going backwards, one might say. And that's because I did the cardinal sin. The cardinal sin, and that is I started a model without having all of my parts here. I usually plan better than this. To be honest, I usually plan better than this. When pulling through the stash this week, I decided I wanted to pull out the bird of prey. Well, to do it up and do it up right, there's a couple of things that I needed to get that I don't have. A is a decent lighting and sound card, and B is I wanted to do this with the Lake Monster hinges for the wings, because I've never tried doing a hinge kit. I know there have been a few attempts over the years to do hinge kits, and the idea has always intrigued me. Well, hopefully those will show up in the mail today. It's Thursday. I don't know. This certainly will go into next week anyway, so, because I haven't started the first bit of painting. But that's kind of where I'm at. Usually I am better prepared because I have all the aftermarket stuff that I plan on using in place, or even if I'm just pulling lights out of my stash, I will have that, but this time I don't. In other news, last night was our monthly model meeting. Picked up this set of 2 mil by 100 mil files. Really tiny files. I had some files, none of them were small enough because I wanted to clean out these window openings. So I was able to do that with the new set of files, and those are looking better. It's also pre-Wonderfest. I know you're sick and tired of hearing me say that. So everybody who I've ever made templates for has been asking for templates. It's just how that works. So I've been kind of distracted in getting that kind of stuff done. And the printer's broke down and it's a madhouse. I'm expecting my new screen for the printer today. And if that comes, maybe I'll spend some time putting that back together. Maybe we'll get back up and running on the printer front while I'm waiting for the other parts if they don't show up today. So it's kind of in that holding pattern. I've been doing some work on building up the body of this, but I just went online to Cass's website to see if there was any instructions for the hinge set so that I could kind of get a jump on them. And apparently there is an amount of chopping into this body that I'm going to have to do. So I can't really do anything more till I know what kind of alterations I'm going to have to make to this. So I'm kind of in a holding pattern there. I am, like I said, I'm putting together orders. I'm starting to work on the templates for the feathers or the wings. I did drill out these guys yesterday. So maybe we'll get some lights into those. The thing is, I don't know, not having seen Ralph's board yet, I don't know whether I need to use resisted or non-resisted LEDs. If they're non-resisted, I could go ahead and just chop off the resistors off of the SM LEDs and start wiring them up. But if they are, then you know how that goes. So I'm kind of holding on that. It's been one of those weeks. Can't really offer too much more of an excuse than that. So we're going to play each day by ear and see how they go. Hey, taking advantage of a slight break in the madness to catch you up. Mail has come and gone. There were no boxes, packages, or bags from Steve today, so I still don't have my parts for the bird of prey. I did, however, get my replacement screen for the printer. And so that's what I'm going to be working on today, is putting this back in place. I've got the FET put on the vat. I did that the other day. That turned out wonderfully. I've just cut open the box here so we can see what we've got. Oh, I've got new foam. I love this stuff. I pack everything in it. But look how carefully this thing was packed. That's nice. Oh, and a new cable too. Interesting. Don't know if I'll need this. If I can use the cable I've already got, I think I will be happy with that because I don't have to open up the front of the machine that way. I don't see anything that looks like instructions. That could be dangerous. Look at this pretty thing. Lovely. I'm going to compare it to the old one, so that you can see what the old one looks like. This looks like it might be the bottom side. Yeah, it might be the bottom side of it. So the old one looked like this. That's what the new one looks like. Okay, before I do anything with that, I think what I'd like to do is take a look at that new piece of cable and see if that's compatible. If it's compatible with my old screen, then I know I can use the old cable with the new screen. So if I can avoid dropping things on the floor, that would be nice. Okay, so here's the new cable. And that fits like that. and then clips over. So that tells me that my old ribbon cable will work. Yeah, that tells me my old ribbon cable will work. Now here's the thing. Here's the story on this. This may well be the new ribbon cable, or the new factory ribbon cable. When I got my printer, it was still the Kickstarter version. So they may not have had that cable finalized. So it's entirely possible that the cable that I have, while it's completely functional, is not, it's just not wrapped up the same way this is. So let's steel my nerves, get some cleaning cloths out, and get ready to install this. Okay, I just popped some gloves on because I don't want to get fingerprints on this thing. Here is the screen, and as I suspected, you flip it over and that's what it looks like. So what I'm going to do is run this over to the machine and put it in place. I don't even know if I should be doing all this on camera. It's just I got nothing else to film today. Good morning, everybody. It's Friday, the last work day of the week. Hopefully we'll get back onto the bird of prey today, as I am expecting big things in the mail. But the good news on the other front is that the printer is back up and in business. I was printing some, first of all, I changed the FEP. I re-leveled the plate. All the stuff that's supposed to be that. I even put a new screen in. All the things that are supposed to be that the most difficult things to do. And so far, fingers crossed, everything seems to be working. I have been what they call dialing in the printer, the resin settings for the 8K vanilla frozen printing, or frozen resin that I'm trying out now. It's an 8K printer. I wanted to use the 8K resin. I have heard good things about it, and they weren't lying, kids. It's a nice resin. I love the color. It's a very good skin tone color, which is going to make the Sucker Punch figure look really nice. Got the last files. I've got the first load of Sucker Punch Amber printing right now, because we got some really good results on the calibration things. And the first thing I went and printed were the Jeffrey Fink Optimus Prime ears. Now it may look a little ugly in the back, but I don't care. It's on the back side. That's how I put the supports in. But everything looks to be nice and crisp and sharp. I will let that dry off a little bit more. They've been in the cure. I'm going to let them dry off a little bit, and then remove the supports, and then put it on the head and see how it looks. Oh, amazing news. The mail has come. Yay! And everything I'm expecting is in here now. I wasn't expecting it this early. I just happened by the front window and saw the guy driving by and went, oh, that means my mail's coming. So here we have Ralph's Katinga board for the 537. We have, ooh, look at all those pieces, kids. These are all of the laser cut parts that are needed for the bird of prey positionable wing hinge conversion. Positionable wing hinge conversion. Now I am wondering if this means, I still don't know. The one thing that I don't know is whether or not these are pose. I mean, they're you can set them in any pose, but whether you have to lock them in that pose or not. And of course, the third thing is this really heavy Eagle 4 kit, because it's an eagle and you got to build eagles. And I am going to be making my own template set for the I have the larger template set. See, I always ask, this does not bother me. I always ask Steve to send me the scratch and dent kits, because A, I'm going to build this model, I'm going to throw that box away. So this box is not that precious to me. And B, he gets a scratch and dent box out of his inventory, and that's a good thing for him. It's he doesn't have to worry about trying to recoup anything out of that. But here's the thing. This has the laboratory pod and the spine booster, which was a separate issue on the 22-inch one. So what I'm going to be doing is downsizing my 22-inch templates to this 14-inch, and we'll have the full family of eagles here. Now see, I feel better. See, this is what tells me, going through Cass's instructions here, and it tells me there is a sizable chunk of the kit that needs to be removed. So I am certainly glad I did not do a bunch of unnecessary, well, I haven't done anything that I can't undo is where I'm at. This is the piece here, and it looks like a generous chunk of this has to come out to the point where, cut the fuselage in 2 parts. Well, that makes sense. If I cut it in 2, yeah, okay. So we've got some more cleaning to do. Yes, it still says posable, so I'm presuming that means you don't have to lock it into any one position. So wonderful. That gives us, and look at all these beautifully cut pieces. Well, you could see them if I put them on camera. Beautifully cut pieces and spacer guides to help with. So lovely. That's going to be fun. That's going to be, all of a sudden, I am reinvigorated on this build. I had been feeling kind of blah about it. Partially that was because of my printer woes, and partially because of, everything else. But I am reinvigorated now. So let's see what Ralph's lighting kit has to offer me here. I like Ralph's stuff. It's very simple, not very simple, very clear. That's what I meant to say. It's very clear and easy to work with. This would be a box. This would be a box. This would be a tiny box. This would be, oh, the speaker. Okay, that is for the sound effect of the photon. So lovely. We are good to go. We've got, yes, we've got our wiring diagram. Again, 9 volts. Lovely. And there's, it's got plugs on it, which means it's not wired to the board, which is lovely. Okay, we've got LED locations. Now, they'll obviously be changed because we're putting this in a bird of prey and not a Katinga. But it's a lot of it outside of the rear photon. Everything else is pretty much the same. It's got, let me double check, see if there's a strobe on there. We've got front torpedo tube, impulse engines, and navigation lights. And I'm presuming navigation lights would be the same as the strobe, if not. Oh, and we've got all of our bulbs and switches. Lovely. So that's going to be fun. Yes. It's been a long road getting to here, but I think we're finally ready to start. Pardon the noise, but I am back from lunch, and we are hip deep in the wing hinge assembly. Get some of the stuff out of the way. I've got the first part of it done, which is the first stage, getting all of these panels together. We're up to stage, we're still on the first page. We're up on step 2. Now it says locate the resin. Yeah, we're using it in the next step. Press the top rack piece into space. Okay, we're ready to do that and put some glue on it, and then we'll start on the secondary portions. But look how sweet that's turning out. These will be spaced. I mean, some of these are a little bit bent, but by the time you put the other ones in between them, it'll force the spacing just right. But this is very nicely engineered. My hat's off to you, Cass. You've done good here. You've done good work here. Okay, we got one tedious wing done. Well, one side done. And it looks like this, and it's the instructions are clear if you read them just the right way and hold the picture up into the light, but not as clear as they could be. Cass, if you're listening to this, I would do a little bit more explaining as to what the stop edge of your panel looks like, because you've got this picture here is not very clear. Just a little arrow saying, hey, this is the stop edge, this is what it looks like in real life, this is the stop edge, and that is the slanted edge. And initially I had mixed those up until luckily it was not too late to fix it before the glue set. but it could have been an ugliness if I had not double checked it. And I basically double checked it by looking at the next step down and seeing what the finished one looked like, and realizing mine did not look like that. So I had to do a quick pull it out and swap it around. But you know, you live and you learn. Well, one hinge is in and we have success. So I do have to put some oil in between it. I was advised in the instructions, if it was stiff, a little bit of household 3-in-1 oil would work. But that's what it looks like from one side. It does do the hinging as advertised. And of course, now see, I've got to make sure you got everything glued in. Once you have the wing on here, obviously you're going to have a lot more leverage. But let me see what I need to be doing. I had to pull out the big hammer too, so don't be afraid if you have to use the big equipment. Let me get a toothpick here. I'm rushing it, and I probably shouldn't be. Not probably, you never should be rushing it. And I don't know whether the oil is working against the CA here or not, but making sure that all of these veins, or these fins, are properly installed in these slots is a bit of a art form unto itself. There, probably that's most compacted, and then when you bring it down to the attack position, yeah, flight position is straight across. Landing position is up and attack is down. So don't worry about these. These will be covered with the face plates. That'll go there, and that'll cover up the face of these square. And I don't know whether round wouldn't have been better. I don't know why they necessarily need to be square, except if that's something in the laser cutting that's required, that square is easier to cut. I don't know. But wipe some of this excess oil off. Nice thing about these plates is you don't really need to paint them once they're done. This is pretty much the finished color, so outside of maybe putting a slight dry brushing over them to make them look a little more metallic, that's pretty much the color that you want. So let me see about going ahead and doing the other side now. Well, here are the mostly completed wing hinges. I've not done any of the cosmetic stuff that goes on the front. There is a plate that goes here that either gets the decal or you use the engraved side. I haven't decided which I'm going to use yet, so that'll be put off. And then of course the decorative one that goes on the front and back. But they do hinge as advertised. So I'm putting in the wind column. The wind column is filling up on a Friday afternoon. For a week that started so far down in the dumps, we're really coming back strong. We've got the hinge set done. I've got all the stuff done for the printer that's making it a happy thing now. I've got Amber's head is in the cure. As soon as it's done curing, I'll bring it out and show that to you. We're well under the way with the bird of prey. I didn't mean to make that rhyme. Got an excellent set of prime ears. Let me go get Prime's head and I'll show you what those look like in place. This should be kept on the other video and I'll repeat myself there, but look at those. Those are about as good as you can expect. Now, of course, got to prime them, no pun intended. Got to prime them and paint them, but that's why I've got extras, so that I can try out different colors of the blue metallic paint to make sure I get something that matches very closely, if not perfectly. But that turned out for a win for the week. Look at that. Look at the detail on that. This is that new 8K, this is the Frozen brand 8K resin, and the color is called vanilla. And I like it. I think it captures even better than the ivory that I was using before. I think the only danger I'm in now is I think I want to go back to Moonju and rebuy all of the old Sucker Punch gals and print them again in this resin. It's beautiful stuff. I wouldn't even dare take a sandpaper to it. It's gorgeous. There's a little bit of a funk here on her ear. I could sculpt that in because it's the back of her ear. Just has to match this. I think I was missing a support there. I could make that work, and then this will be my copy, and then the good one that I always do for my friend, he gets the best parts always, and then I destroy the files. I make one good one for me, one good one for him, or one acceptable one for me. If something goes wrong, I don't toss out the part if it can be saved, but because he's a client, he gets all the good parts, and then I delete the files, and if ever anybody wants to do it again, then you have to rebuy the files. But I don't do printing for folks. I'm not in that business, so it's strictly a two and done for me. But look at that. Beautiful. I thought maybe her head was a little small, and then I went out and put it against some of the other gals, and it's the same size. It's just her hair is so tight to her head that the head looks smaller. But no, the distance between the eyes and the size of the head, it's the same shape or the same size, so I'm not worried about that. I am curing the arms now. That's the next step, and then printing the legs, and I should have something to show by the beginning of next week. And I think this will be a darn good place to leave it for the week. And as I said, that's where we're going to leave it for this week. A week that started off, pretty much in the dumpers. It came roaring back, and it's made its way into a good, fine week now. Again, here are the hinges for the bird of prey. This is the Lake Monster hinge set, available at Cult TV Man. But that does everything I want it to do. I just have to make it pretty. And I also got Ralph's lighting kit, which I'm looking forward to throwing in here. I needed to know primarily how much room this hinge set takes up before I can see where the board is going to go for Ralph's. Now, it looks like the hinge set, I have to cut a big chunk out of here, but it doesn't extend below the, I don't think it does. I don't think it extends below the horizon of the bottom of the perimeter, or the halfway point there. So that'll allow me to put the board for Ralph right in the bottom here. I need to see the size of that board, see how big it is. But it also is going to mean that I'm not going to be able to use the landing gear. I'm going to have to do this with a closed up landing gear because of that. So, more's the pity, but it's going to be on a stick or on a post anyway. So we'll just do it that way. But that's even more of the kit parts that I won't be needing. And that's where we're going to be. So, I wanted to mention in the interim, I've got most everything packed for Wonderfest. I got all the models packed up, and I've wrapped the Doomsday Machine in foam. Very embarrassing. I hope his friends on the schoolyard don't see that, because he looks like he's got one of the cone of shame on to keep from getting bumped around. But that kind of stuff is finally starting to sink in, that I've got to get it done. So until next week, well, we've got plenty of stuff to do now. Yay! I was in such a drought there for a while. Got plenty of stuff to do. So until next week, y'all be good, be safe, be smart. Be ready for Wonderfest, and we'll see you here next week.